Welcome, everybody, to the first of what's going to be a new series. Once my new computer gets here, this will be a lot easier because I can actually implement a whole bunch of other things, and I can actually just record this. And it's not as it stands, I'm just doing everything through OBS for the first few episodes until the new computer is up and running. This computer is just a pile of crap. I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty much on its last leg. But I didn't want to wait on my laurels because I had an idea for a series and I wanted to get it going. So what the series is going to be, it's a top 100 list. But you're like, Mike, Geek, you've already done a top 100 list of video games. It's not video games. Or not just all video games. This encompasses all geekdom. This incorporates books, films, anime, you name it, video games, television shows, authors, personalities. There's a few things that won't be on it, like wrestling, because I fell out of love with wrestling because somebody made it their life goal to get me to a wrestling event when I had a terminal. I'm living with a terminal illness, and in the middle of COVID, wanted me to go to a wrestling event. That would have killed me. Wasn't cool. But yeah, I wanted to get this list going, and I know people are going to be looking at this slide going, your number 100 is Terry Pratchett? No, my number 100 is the Hogfather. It is not. It is not Terry Pratchett. Terry Pratchett is actually in the top 10. We'll go over him later. This is one of the Discworld novels, though. This is the book that got me into knowing who Terry Pratchett was. This is the book that got me into Discworld. It is an amazing novel, and let's go over some facts on it real quick. It's the 20th Discworld novel. You don't have to read them in order. Some of them, like the Weird Sisters, it does help a little bit to get a little backstory on what's going on with the overarching plots, but you don't have to read the Discworld novels. They're kind of pretty much standalones. You can pick one up and read it and just have fun. And I did. I read The Hogfather first, and then I went back through and read everything else. It was released in 1996, 3 years after Nightmare Before Christmas, and believe me, I'll get into that. It features a descendant of Death, Susan Stowe Hillett, and Death. And hey, yeah, you might even look at this cover, because this is the book I have, the hardcover with this cover. It might look familiar. It might look like Nightmare Before Christmas, and the premises are a little similar, but not. There are a lot of big differences in it. Hogfather, there's no Santa Claus on the Discworld. It is the Hogfather, and the Hogfather is funneled by belief, which is something that I funneled into. My belief is a big thing for me in my books that I write. But in the Hogfather, you have to read it to understand. There's a guy who gets fed up with it, and it's basically commercialism versus the Hogfather versus Santa Claus is basically it. And they find a way to assassinate the Hogfather. So Death realizes that this is a problem and steps in and replaces the Hogfather and tries to make it so things can be corrected. So he's basically stalling for time, pretending to be the Hogfather the entire time. And it's just fantastic. It's a fantastic premise. I highly recommend reading it, not just relying on me. My favorite quote from the thing is, everything starts somewhere, although many physicists disagree. It's just an incredible little quote, and you can use that and go, wait, what? It did have a miniseries that aired, that was created as a pilot, I believe, for Sky One, which originally aired December 17th and 18th in 2006. It was 2 episodes. Coincidentally, the interesting facts about this is, and there's a nice little screenshot of Death on his. That's one of the coolest shots in the whole movie, I'm not going to lie. This is really cool. Death sitting there amidst the ice pillars, at the top of the stairs. Really cool. But this lady, this actress, I don't have her name, believe it or not, but she also voiced the death of rats. Now, if you're not familiar with Discworld, there is death, and there's so many rats that die that there's also a death of rats, because death can't be bothered to go and collect the souls of every rat that dies in Discworld. So there's a death of rats, and every time it shows up, it's squeak with exclamation marks. All in all caps. When death talks, it's in all caps. When the death of rats talks, it's in all caps. The voice is done by the actress for the movie. It's an amazing read. And if you like Nightmare Before Christmas, I highly recommend reading it. You'll find some similarities. It did come out 3 years after the film, but they're totally different. They're completely different. Whereas Nightmare Before Christmas is set here in the real world. Well, it's a fantasy set in the real world. Hogfather takes place on the disc, and it has a different premise, a completely different premise that deals with assassins and death and Death's descendants trying to bring back the Hogfather. It is hilarious. It is full of highbrow humor, and I highly recommend it. It is number 100 on my list. This entire list it doesn't matter where something falls on this list. I highly recommend everything that I'm putting up here. And if you doubt me, just look it up. Look it up. Just go have a read. Go have a viewing. Go have anything. I promise you there are video games on this list, but I wanted to start things out with somebody with a novel that meant a lot to me. It's not my favorite novel that's on this list. You'll see that one later on. But it is by an author that means a lot to me. And again, he's further up on the list, himself. And we'll get to him. But yeah, definitely get out there, read The Hogfather, fall in love with the disc. There's nothing wrong with it. And while you're at it, if you're wondering if Good Omens is on this list, I wouldn't doubt it. Not for 1 minute. You just have to find out where. And stay tuned. I will see you guys in the near future. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon.